Okay, so welcome to your final episode of Social Influence.
And today we're talking about social change, kids.
Social change occurs when a society as a whole adopts a new belief or a way of behaving which then becomes more widely accepted as the norm.
Yes, so in particular we're talking about minority influence and how that can cause social change. So, first of all, a little definition. What's conversion?
This is when an individual changes their views to match those of the minority.
Exactly. So, let's talk about 4 conditions that are necessary for social change through minority influence. First of all, drawing attention to an issue.
This is the introduction of a different viewpoint to arouse people's interest. For example, the Fathers for Justice campaign thing engaged in high-profile stunts to promote fathers' rights.
Yep. Second of all, we've got the role of conflict.
Conflict causes us to examine minorities' views more closely. You become motivated to reduce the conflict, so if minority views are valid, you are persuaded. For example, animal rights leaflets condemns cosmetic animal testing. This causes a conflict regarding the use of the product. People reduce the conflict by changing products. The behavior spreads, and social change caused by supply and demand of the products.
Number 3, consistency.
Being consistent shows that you mean it. It shows how serious you are. It shows that the argument endures over time and is still valid. For example, terrorism. They're consistently arguing their point, and it's led to an increased Taliban recruitment rate in the Middle East.
Yeah, and finally, number 4, the augmentation principle.
If risks are involved, you are taken more seriously by others. So if a minority is willing to suffer, impact is increased or augmented. Risks include abuse, imprisonment, and death in some cases. An example of this, you can use the suffragettes who went on hunger strikes in prison, and then Emily Wilding Davidson threw herself in front of the king's horse for the cause.
Yeah, however, against all of this, this was what you'd say in an evaluation in your essay question. You'd say, on the other hand, the tendency to go along with the crowd is perhaps why social change happens so slowly. Minorities lack social power and can be seen as deviant in the eyes of the majority. Therefore, the majority tries avoiding to agree with the minority so that they avoid to be seen as deviant as well. So the influence of a minority is frequently more latent, i.e. it creates potential for change rather than actual change. For example, in the suffragette movement, when conflict was caused by the women taking over men's jobs in World War I and showing that they were capable of doing men's jobs, this basically means that the First World War might have been the trigger that was necessary to bring the change, not necessarily the suffragettes doing that.
And that's it.
That is it.
All
done for social influence. Well done.
Hooray!
Go get yourself a biscuit and then listen to individual differences.
Bye.
Bye-bye.